Yes, our first away win after like God knows how long now. Okay, Southampton 0, Manchester United 1. Let's go. Salam sejahtera and welcome to JomUnited. We are a Malaysian Manchester United fan channel. Yes, dengan bangganya Buatan Malaysia. If you're new to our channel, do the usual YouTube stuff. Please like our videos, please share our videos, and subscribe. Subscribe. We are 300 subs away from our 2,000 subs milestone. All right.
And don't forget to join our Telegram group. The link is below. And for all things United, a lot of banter, a lot of chatting, and of course, all the tactics and discussion as well.
Okay, guys, St. Mary's Stadium, all right? Usually this place, when we go there, we will normally, shit happens usually when we go to this place, right? So somehow, I think this time around, our defense, all right, one thing I can say up front, much, much improved, all right, compared to our previous visit here, right? So, Doc, what do you think about the game just now?
I think the most important thing was the 3 points. We played well in patches, especially the starting of the first half. I think in the starting of the second half. But once we scored and when we took the lead, we couldn't even hold on to the ball. I think we were actually bailed out by the defense that today. Even they were, there were some nervy moments, but I think we pulled through. I think the key was still just to follow up the big win against Liverpool with 3 points today, and job well done. 3 points and a clean sheet as well.
A scrappy win, I would say a scrappy win. But then centre back pairing side, would you consider this our most solid? Not even centre back our back four, our back five. Sorry, back five right? Would you consider this our strongest back five, or would you make any changes?
I think definitely this is our strong back five, and especially the middle pair between Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. I think they have been very immense in the last two games. Against Liverpool, it was end-to-end game, and it was at home with a very fire. And today performance also proves it was not only just because we are playing against Liverpool and they have an extra inch of motivation, but I think today also we saw both of them. They are really comfortable. They clearing the ball with the head, ground duels as well. I think both of them has been perfect, and I think there is no place for Maguire and there is no place for Luke Shaw anymore.
Okay, let's talk about the. I think the man of the match was Lisandro Martinez, right? So, Doc, what's your take on Lisandro Martinez? I mean, given that he's given the stick that his height issue he's from the Dutch league he can't adapt to Premier League and whatnot. So, what's your take on him? Do you see him as he's going to cement the place there, and then I think it's impossible for someone like, for example, Lindelof or maybe Maguire to actually come in?
Look, I mean, I think he struggled in the second game against Brentford, but since then, the performances against Liverpool last week and today again at St. Mary's shows he can do the job. And I think again, when we talk about defenders, it's always about pairs. And remember that Brentford game he was paired with Maguire, right? And Maguire has been the trouble since last season. A lot of mistakes, and people have to cover for him. And I think now that he's being partnered with Buatan, and we see a good partnership developing here, so they're able to cover each other. They're playing well. I think even the fullbacks are starting to play well as well. Dalot and Malaysia on the left. So I think Malaysia is giving a lot of confidence because he's not easily beaten on the left side. Granted, he's not perfect going forward yet. I think both of them are still not perfect going forward, but at least defensively, our wing backs look a little bit more solid than previous games and even the end of last season, right? So hopefully they stay injury free. I think that's the key. And they get a few games together under their belts, they improve their understanding, and maybe with even probably Casemiro coming in, there may be some added defense in front of them, and that may even make them play better. So all in all, I think the defenders are looking good in the last two games. I hope they keep it up and continue to play this way.
Yes, fullbacks, Malaysia and also Dalot, right? I think our attacking outlet came more from our right hand side via Dalot. In fact, our goal actually came from Dalot's cross, fantastic cross. So, what's your take on our fullback? And another thing I want to ask you, because there was this comment by one of the members in Telegram group that Malaysia should actually bomb forward more. But then I believe last time you actually went through Eric Ten Hag's style of play, right? When I think basically when one fullback goes forward, the other one will actually tuck in
Yeah.
to create a proper back three. Maybe you can just run through with us on that.
I think if I compare both of our fullbacks, I think Malaysia has been better compared to Dalot. Although Dalot provided the assist, it was a really good cross, which ended up with Bruno Fernandes with a magnificent finish. But I think if I compare both of them, then I think I'm more comfortable with Malaysia compared to Dalot. Dalot is still losing the ball. He's still mispassing with his passing range, and I think today as well he got like 70% of the passing range compared to Malaysia who got the 86%. So I think whenever Malaysia is making the passes, he's making with more conviction compared to Dalot. Dalot, I think he made one or two defensive error today as well, right after he made an assist. But overall, I think this is the best we have right now. And I think, like you said, the inverted fullbacks, we are seeing this throughout the preseason and throughout those four games as well. When Dalot is up there, then Malaysia stay behind with the two center backs. And when Malaysia goes forward, then Dalot stay with the two center back. And I think this is the philosophy, this is the tactical way of playing from Eric Ten Hag, which is quite visible. And I think the good thing is Dalot and Malaysia, they already understood what Eric Ten Hag wants them to play. So I think they are a good student of the football, which shows they want to learn, they are eager to learn, and looking forward for more good performance from both of them.
If I may add something about Malaysia, his recovery and whatnot is fantastic. His aggression, recovery, his hunger to actually run after the ball, chase after the ball, I think it's fantastic. That's something I believe is severely, lacking when we talk about someone like Luke Shaw and whatnot, right? So a comment here by AG, back four on fire. Yes, fantastic back four. Not to mention our keeper was fantastic today. Did some Milo saves and whatnot.
Hey, what Milo saves, huh? Kept us in the game, okay?
He catch the ball as well.
Seriously, yeah. To be honest, usually, right, these kind of games and whatnot, right, we are expecting that kind of freak kind of goals to happen. But this time around, I think I'm actually quite composed when Southampton actually attacks, especially during the final minutes and whatnot. 6 minute added extra time usually will be like, shitting in our pants and whatnot every time they attack. But this time around, I'm actually quite confident. We can actually see David De Gea more confident, coming out, being more commanding, running out and punching the ball. This is something he was actually lacking, right, Doc? He was actually lacking previously, right?
Yeah, again, and I mentioned it before, playing behind that kind of back four, no keeper would have that kind of confidence. But seeing the last two games, the defensively they're improving, right? It will definitely give the keeper more confidence to come out, to even pass the ball around. Definitely.
Okay, do you guys see, right, an issue right now, right? Usually, like previous seasons, we always complaining about the defense and whatnot. The forwards is there, but the defense is not right. But this time around, I believe our spine, it's pretty much solid right now, and also a cameo of performance by Casemiro and whatnot, lah. Still, a bit too early to actually judge, but we can actually see the influence of Casemiro. The moment he came in, you can actually see he's giving a bit of commands here and there, trying to organize the line and whatnot. So let's talk about the weak point of this game, right? I would say the forwards, all right? Not to be biased and whatnot, I believe we are really, really missing Anthony Martial today. Okay, even when Ronaldo actually came in, you don't actually see much going on, right? So what do you actually point this to? Maybe we start with Doc. Do you think that it's because of our midfield or it's because of our forward three?
I think if you ask me, right, the forwards are not really firing, but I think the problem stems from the midfield. The midfield are not doing enough to actually provide cover for the defense. Neither are they providing ammunition for the forwards. There's nothing, playing Rashford through the center, right? He's the type who likes to run through. There were no through balls, okay? Sancho sometimes held on to the ball too long, right? Elanga was very poor again. But the center of midfield, your spine, apart from Eriksen, nobody's doing anything. Nobody's taking shots from outside the box. So the defenders are very comfortable to sit back. And when they sit back, the front three can't penetrate, right? So you have Scott McTominay, who's, in very, very small patches trying to go forward. Most time he's playing the simple,
Back pass.
pass. Yeah, back pass or side pass. That's about it. Okay. Bruno was not that great either, except for probably the goal. That's about all he did the whole game. The only guy who actually put some good balls into the box was Eriksen. But then again, when Eriksen put the balls in the box, there was actually nobody inside. except for Bruno, who was a bit late, but Rashford was also missing. So the front three, I mean, yes, I the way I look at it, they were also not very great, not creating much opportunities. But I still think the problem actually stems from the midfield. You don't have that kind of a creative spark in midfield.
Maybe what we need is the number 9 to actually come down deep, glue everyone together, to create some, to link up, to create some link up and whatnot. This is, I mean, yeah, I'm not being biased again, but this is what we actually saw when Anthony Martial came in the second half during the Liverpool game. What's your take on that side?
I think it's not about Ronaldo or Martial. We just need a number 9. We just need a fit number 9 who is young enough to play for a longer period of time for Manchester United. Doesn't matter it's Martial, doesn't matter it's Ronaldo. As long as a pro number 9 who is a dedicated goal scorer, who is fit and who can play for our club for the rest of maybe like 3 or 5 years consistently, this is what we are lacking. This is what we are depriving at the moment. And I think, yes, we miss Martial as well. But I think Rashford, we all know he's a winger and he cannot play in the center. But I think this is something Eric Ten Hag has been developing with Martial because if you see some previous interviews and his quotation about Rashford, he said like he wants Rashford to play in multiple positions. It's not only on the left side. So I think this is what he has been trying because he knows that Martial is injured. Ronaldo is not fit. Even today, when he came on, he looks very off. He cannot run fast. I mean, like he was not clicking. He was not sharp enough to play the football match. It was quite visible. So this is where I think Eric Ten Hag has been, trying some experiment by putting Rashford on the top. And it's not an experiment. I think we don't have any option. Who would play on the top if Martial injured, if Ronaldo is not fit, then we don't have any option. I think this is the very reason we need more forwards. If we have Anthony, then I think Anthony can play on the left side. We don't need Alanga. Alanga, I think, has been very poor even today, like really poor. He's not decisive when he's taking the shot. He's not decisive when he's taking on the players or passing the balls as well. So I think the best would be getting a striker, Rashford maybe on the left side and Sancho on the right side. If we don't have anybody, then I think Rashford has to play on the top. But I think today Rashford didn't get much supply, and I think I would agree with Doc. Like midfield, they were not creating enough for Rashford as well because Rashford didn't get much touches. Sancho was getting touches and Sancho was receiving the ball. Alanga was also receiving the ball as well, but Rashford he was not receiving the ball. If he's not receiving the ball, then I think we cannot blame Rashford that he didn't take his chance or anything because he didn't get any chance today.
Yeah, look, I mean, Rashford has played in the center before and he scored goals, right? Of course, if you ask me, I think the best position for him is still coming in from the left side, where he's more dangerous. But he can play as a front man. But his game is not to drop down and supply passes. His game is to run through on goal, and for that he needs supply from the midfield, right? Each striker is different. Like Ronaldo can come down a bit, but his game is basically crosses into the box. Martial is also slightly different. He likes to play around the box. And maybe I throw this question back to you, Dom. You say, Martial is a guy who likes to come down, get the ball and hold up play. But if you ask me, I don't think that is his natural game either. He likes to play in and around the box. He's not very comfortable coming down and collecting the ball with his back facing the goal and playing off and then making runs.
I disagree. When you talk about hold up play and whatnot and creating link ups and whatnot, I believe Martial is fantastic in that role. Okay, wait, let me just run through some comments first. Ilenga poor, all right, by Andrew Tan. Hope we can continue this form and momentum. AG, only Ericsson set up. Where's the captain? Okay, another comment by AG. Martial plays number 10. Okay, so this is one thing that I mean from my point of view on Martial. I mean, previous seasons and whatnot, he's fantastic on the left because he got room to run. Okay, and then when he becomes the target man, that's where the issue is, like you mentioned, Doc. But then that's why I think for this style of play with Eric Ten Hag, right, he comes deep, he creates the link up probably at the center of the field and whatnot, and then he slowly runs toward defenders. This is where he actually shines, I believe so. So
yeah, I actually don't think that's his game, but yeah, I mean, if he's able to change it around, it's fine. But even Martial is more comfortable running at players, even if he plays as a center forward, he's not the type to. But he's good at linking play in and around the box, but he's not very strong at dropping deep to collect the ball, switch the play, and then move in. But again, that is why we probably still need a proper center forward, a proper guy who can bang in 20 goals a season. I still think we don't have that right now.
What kind of profile would you say? I mean, that center forward type, because now, I mean, like Martial looks like he's more towards that false 9 kind of role. Okay, something like a Harry Kane and whatnot, right? So, what kind of profile do you think we should actually go for? what's that word? A classic number 9, the one that actually a fox in the box kind of role, like a Cavani kind of role, or what type of forwards do you guys think that we should go for?
I think that's what we need, Dom. Somebody who can sniff out goals. Now we've got a lot of so-called wingers trying to play as centre forwards, all who prefer to run at people, cut in and take shots. We don't have that guy who's really positioned in the box to sort of finish off these kind of half chances or, run near post for when the crosses are coming in. We don't have that kind of. You see, even today, Ericsson put in some good crosses. If you had a proper centre forward, right, they would have had fun with those crosses. I think actually, if a fit Ronaldo was in, he would have buried a couple of those chances because he can sniff out those chances currently. But again, if the tactic is to press up front, then you need another good young striker. I don't see that many available, but if they could actually get one, it would be good lah. Even if it's not going to be a starter, at least when Marshall is injured, which happened quite often, I would say one game and then injured. It's coming like Eric Bailly like that.
It's a French kind of thing lah. It's a French kind of thing lah. Achilles injury. Oh my god. Hey, actually, Doc, I mean, since you have a background in this, right? Being a doctor and whatnot, right? This kind of injury that Marcel is having, Achilles heel injury and whatnot, is this something that is like it would jeopardize his career and whatnot?
Not jeopardize his career, but the problem with things like Achilles tendon injuries, hamstring, quadriceps, right? They're all more tendon or muscular injuries, so it's a bit difficult to. Number one, it heals, takes time, right? And there's a tendency for it to keep on occurring. Right? I remember Ryan Giggs when he first came in, and he was the type of that kind of speedy sprinter kind of thing. He always used to have these hamstring injuries, and it just kept on recurring in the first few years until United actually changed, a lot of things for him. The car seat, the way everything was done, and then he started to improve, you see. So maybe you need something like that. So these muscular injuries, tendon injuries are the ones that tend to keep on recurring over time. They never heal completely,
I think the problem with Marshall is like today we're talking about this injury. I think after 1 month it would be another injury.
Exactly.
I think this depends on the athleticism. Like, does he have a athletic body to keep his shape to be a professional footballer or not? I think this is the biggest question mark. No doubt he is skillful. He can play good link up. But like we're discussing about like what kind of or what profile of a striker we should go for. We should go for someone who is tall enough, who can head the ball, who can play with both feet, and who has the instinct of scoring the goal. Being on the right position and scoring with the both feet, I think this is what we are lacking right now. And I agree, like there are not many striker available. I think we should try McNeil, but McNeil is very young for a first team football. And I think if you remember, we were linking with another striker from Stuttgart. He's very tall. He can play both feet. He can head the ball as well. But I think there is no news at the moment that we are into any striker. We are only linking with Gakpo and also with Anthony. With again, both are wingers, forwards, not the typical number 9.
How about I think there's this is that the Napoli player or whatnot? This Victor Oshim. I think So do you think that he will actually fit our profile? I think there's several names like the one that you mentioned on top of that. Another one is probably Memphis Depay and whatnot. Do you think that these two players can actually come in and fill the role as our number 9?
But Memphis Depay, I still see him as a winger. I mean, he has evolved. He have evolved a lot in Barcelona and also with the Dutch team. He's playing in the center position as well. But I think I still see him as a winger, not like a typical number 9 who can sit and just score the goal and receive the ball.
Okay, you got a comment here. Let me see. Andrew Tan mentioned, forget about De Jong, let's get Anthony. But I think, we are in discussion right now. I think pretty much De Jong, apparently he's taking a pay cut and he's going to stay at Barcelona. For me, which is a good thing. I guess it's better than him going over to Chelsea. Right? And as for the Anthony deal, the player definitely want to leave. I think he had a interview or something with Fabrizio Romano. So he actually mentioned that from day one, he mentioned that he already decided to leave Ajax and whatnot. So, and then it's more about like getting the right bid from United, making him the most expensive player bought player from this Dutch league and whatnot. So I think it's only a matter of time, but then it's ridiculous. The amount of money that we are talking about, I think it's 90 million euros.
90 already rejected. 90 yesterday rejected.
Yeah, so probably we'll go up to like 100 million and whatnot. Do you guys think that this kind of price tag is ridiculous for this unproven type of player from the Dutch league? Do you think? What do you think?
Agree, 100% agree. But a lot of teams now know we're also a bit desperate with the window coming to a close soon, right? Everybody's going to take
5 days,
advantage.
5 days or 6 days.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think one more thing in this scenario is like Manchester United last year we finished at six. We are not offering Champions League football. We are not offering to youngster that you just come and join us and you will get a lot of trophies. You will get a lot of good football. So I think money is the only thing where we can attract the player and we can also attract the club to let them go. Same goes with Casemiro. I think Casemiro already won five Champions League. He wanted to go to a new challenge. So I think for him it's okay because he already won a lot of Champions League. So
5, yeah.
how did we attract Casemiro? We put a lot of money to Real Madrid, and we are also offering good wages to Casemiro as well. I think same would go for Anthony as well. I would agree, like it's not worth it. Like 100 million is like too much for somebody who only scored, I think, less than 10 goals
19,
last
I think
season.
19 with plus assists and whatnot. It's about
Yeah.
19. If I'm not
So it's
mistaken.
not like very crazy number like when Luis Suarez was banging goals for Ajax or that time Ibrahimovic he used to score a lot of goals for Ajax. So I think his number is not that much, but still I think we only have the money to offer right now. We are not offering Champions League football. We are not offering promises that okay you join us and this year you're going to win the league, you are going to win the Europa or FA Cup. So I think money is the only thing, and I think this is how Eric Ten Hag can build his team by throwing some money.
But
No,
then again,
I mean, even if you look at it, right, if we had done this business early in the transfer window, this wouldn't be
yes.
happening. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be happening. If it, now everybody knows, okay, especially after the first two games, those heavy losses, right? And let's not come into a picture of last week's game and this week's game. After the first two games, everybody knows we're desperate. With the window closing, you want to sign players, everybody's going to hike up the price. And even though they know Anthony wants to go, they're still in the bargaining. They have the bargaining power. AX, because you still have to pay the transfer fees to actually negotiate the player. You can negotiate the player all you want, but you still have to meet the transfer fees of the club. So everybody knows that we're desperate. We are willing to pay, and they hike the price.
Yeah, they're milking the deal because they started with 60 million. Now it goes to 100 million. Yesterday they
Exactly.
rejected
If
80
we
Actually,
had started and gone right too early in the season, I probably got him for 60 million.
no, I think early
Or
on, I
maybe.
think there was one point they actually said that Anthony is worth 80 million, and then United actually backed off. You see. So then after that, United finally decided, okay, 80 million, we'll take it. Then they rejected the
They
80
said
million.
no. Now we
50
want
million.
90. When we put 90, they said no, we want 100.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly. I mean, that also shows we were not decisive enough in the transfer market. If we really wanted him, we could have bought him straight away, right off the cuff, early on in the window.
So
but
this
I
shows the
would say,
incompetence of the board.
yeah, exactly. It's not from the manager. Obviously, the manager wants the player like how he wanted. Obviously Timber first like he couldn't get Timber. Then he actually went for Martinez, Malasia. You can actually see the impact of these two players with our team right now. So probably with Anthony in, definitely I think it will strengthen up, especially our forward lineup now, which is pretty thin right now. So it will be an added advantage lah. Okay. There's this comment by AG. Get Savic to replace Bruno. Okay, Bruno Fernandes. Okay, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, apart from that goal, fantastic world class goal, I would say fantastic cross by Dalot. What's your take on Bruno Fernandes, Doc? Do you think he's really on the decline? Is there any way for him to actually come out of this? Some say he actually don't suit Eric Ten Hag's style of playing.
I wouldn't say that, and I think I briefly touched on this somewhere at the end of the last season as well. I think he's actually struggling because he doesn't have a fixed role. He was really shining at United initially when he was playing, the number 10 role just behind the two strikers, right? Now I mean, what exactly is his role? Is his role to play in the center of midfield? Is his role to play slightly behind the defenders? Is his role to actually push up in place of as an auxiliary striker to Rashford? And we saw him in the box many times, right? So I think he's just struggling to really adapt because he doesn't have a real fixed position or fixed area where he's supposed to be in. I think that is what is happening. But again, he's been performing for a couple of seasons now, so I don't think he's totally lost his form. He needs to be sold, but and with the captaincy, I mean, we can see he's also trying a bit harder. Let's hope he gets back to where he was. But fantastic finish today, and hopefully that will give him the confidence moving into the next few games as well.
Yeah, let's do a quick round robin before we wrap this up. All right, side man of the match.
Hands down, it's Lisandro Martinez. I think even though his shot, a lot of pundit, a lot of fans, they write him off. I think he proved again today, not only with the Liverpool, but I think today away game in English Premier League, he has won 5 out of 5 aerial duels. So that shows that his timing is good, no matter he's short, but his timing is good enough to win the ball. And I think not only winning the ball in the air, but also clearing the ball, tackling, showing the enthusiasm. This is what we needed in our team. And I think it's a really good addition, and he's my man of the match.
Doc, how about you, Doc?
Actually, it's a tough choice, It's a really tough choice because nobody really, if you ask me, right, really stood out in the whole game. I think in glimpses, Martinez was very good. In glimpses, Scott McTominay looked okay, right? In glimpses, Malaysia looked good, except for going forward, really struggled. But I think, all in all, I still would have to go with, agree with Syed that Martinez would be the man of the match, lah. But not at a very high rating, actually, because we really struggled in the second half. I was going to say DDG, lah, but somebody mature.
I am going to go for DDG.
Only for one save.
Just for you this day. I mean, I think in a way it's a good thing that
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really outshine anybody, especially in our back four, I would say, right? Back four. Everyone pretty much played up to standard, right?
Varane was
So,
equally good as well.
Sorry, Sai?
Yeah, I think Varane was also equally good.
Yes, he was fantastic as well. He was fantastic. But I'm going to give it to David De Gea, just for you, Doc. All right, so you don't say I'm biased and whatnot, all right, Doc?
Just for the clean sheet after a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to
Yeah,
record
AG.
this moment and keep, lah.
AG mentioned man of the match, Martinez the Butcher. At least finally for once, David De Gea get some FPL points for you, Doc.
Finally, mate. After years and years of keeping him there, the immovable object. 7 points.
So anyway, guys, it's a short one. It's a short one because really nothing much really we can actually talk about. I mean, the window will be closing next week, so hopefully we get some signings in that we can actually bolster our forward, and hopefully our midfield another personnel. Hopefully he comes to United. I'm not going to mention his name anymore. Okay, so the next game is going to be Leicester, right? So bring on Leicester. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Good night.